Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are trying out two new drugstore concealers head to head, and I'm going to really put these to the test. So I may or may not already have them on, but we are testing out the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. This one has been kind of raved about and talked about, possibly a dupe for Shape Tape. So anytime somebody says that, I'm like, I'm very curious. I doubt it, but I'm curious. So I want to give you guys some prices because it's kind of like wildly all over the place. So this one right now at Ulta is going for $10.99, and then when I look it up on Walmart, it's saying it is $7.94. That's kind of typical. I do order a lot of my drugstore from Ulta because I get points, and a lot of times they'll have discounts, deals, you know, buy one get one half off, or you have a coupon. I will link these below from multiple websites just in case you want to kind of like price hunt. And then we also have the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage Concealer, and this one says specifically under eye concealer. I believe that the TruBlend, you are meant to use it in multiple places. I still use every concealer the same way, so I'm going to test them out exactly like I would my normal concealers and put them to the test. Yeah, so it appears as though this one's meant for really any type of concealing, so that is great. So in the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage, if you go to Walmart, it's going to set you back $9.98, and right now on Ulta it is $11.99. So pretty consistently the Maybelline is $1 or $2 more expensive than the Covergirl, but still really affordable concealers. And I love both of the foundations that kind of go with these. So the Covergirl TruBlend Matte Made foundation has been a must-have go-to for me ever since they sent me that beautiful PR package. I love that foundation. I shared it with so many people. I was telling people like, look, you need to go buy this foundation. So that's been like my holy grail drugstore foundation. And then on the other hand, I really love the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage foundation that I have. So I do like that one a lot. It's not as much of a favorite as the Covergirl, but I still wear them both. I have them both. They made it through my foundation declutter so successfully. I really love both of those. When both of these came out, I was so excited. I actually picked up both of these and the new Milani concealer, and I was like, okay, which two do I want to test out? And it just seemed like a clear option to test these out side by side. So we're going to go head to head. I'm going to apply them, set them, do my whole face of makeup. I'm going to check in with you guys too after several hours of wear and let you guys know like the full deal, how it's holding up. I'm going to go buy groceries in the heat, and it's like 90 degrees. So I'm going to go about my day as I normally would from here on out and see how it holds up and let you guys know exactly what I think about both of these concealers, a real wear test, and a full review. So if you want to know more about these two concealers, then just keep watching. We are starting out with our two concealers. So again, I have the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage. I have the shade Ivory 5, and then I have the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover, and I have the shade L100 Fair Porcelain. So we're going to go head to head with these. I am going to first, of course, prime and do some foundation. So I really wanted to go with favorite products of mine, things that always work and typically work with just any other product. So I'm going to start with a couple different primers. Both of these are by Touch in Sol. I've really been loving their primers lately. I've got the No Problem Priming Water. This one has Bulgarian toning water and essential oil, so I give that one a little shake. And just in the areas where I have more noticeable pores, I'm going to just use the original No Problem primer. So we're going to pair both of these together today. Alright, so we're going to take the original No Problem. This is more of a silicone based primer, so I'm going to just dab it in between my middle fingers there and work it into pore problem areas. For foundation, I'm going to go in with the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I have mine in the shade L2 Mont Blanc. Typically, it's a little dark for me, just a hair, but I like that. Right now, I do have some sun, as you can tell, so hopefully it'll blend kind of well. I'll probably still have to bronze up the neck, but we're going to make it happen. I'm going in with one of my beauty blenders. I actually have two wet beauty blenders to use. They are probably, you know, right around the same level of use. They're both used. Yeah, I am definitely that person that has like 6 beauty blenders that are all dirty, so I had to wash both of those. I'm just gonna start blending this. It may be a little bit light compared to my shoulders. but that's okay. I got the cutest cup from Krispy Kreme when I went to the beach, so my family always wants like a big load of Krispy Kreme donuts for like snacks and breakfast and whatnot. So I went and picked them up, and this is what the cup looks like. It has all these donuts all over it. It's so adorable. This foundation is probably my all-time favorite high-end, I should say, but it gives great coverage. It's not like 100% full opaque with one layer, but you can definitely build it. And I like to just get like a really good solid layer of this on, and it's kind of like in between medium and full coverage to me, but it's just the right amount, and it still has that ability to look very skin-like. It looks like your skin, just like way better. Alright, so foundation's in place. This one lays on the skin so nicely, so I really love it. I'm probably going to look a little light until I get all my makeup done, so just bear with me. But we're going to start with the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover. I'm going to do it on my right, so we're going to use it over here. It's got a pretty hefty little doe foot applicator, but it looks really nice. I like the consistency so far. So I'm just going to blend one at a time. So I put it everywhere where I typically would. I have a little indentation right here instead of having like a smooth jawline. So I always add a little bit there. And I typically like to blend that first. That way it kind of gets a little bit of the product onto the sponge, because every once in a while, I don't know if you guys will have this, but where the sponge lays, if it touches under your concealer, it can kind of pick up the foundation. But that way it seems to help just a little bit, and then I like to make sure I get right under that eye. Ooh. This is going a long way. I know I put a lot on, but man. Okay, so this concealer is canceling everything. Do you see that? Wow. I am really impressed with that one. Everything's looking really good. It's definitely very brightening, and it's got some great coverage so far. Like, what I can see is that it is covering just about everything. I am really liking it. So the powder I'm going to use is the Pretty Vulgar Powder Room. This one generally works for me no matter what concealer I'm using. So again, just being really fair and trying to give both of these concealers the best shot possible. Alright, so it is creasing up a little bit before I set it. That is so normal. I would never actually expect a concealer not to crease before setting it. So very typical kind of behavior of a concealer. I've got a good little amount here, and I'm just going to go right under first. I'm going to do a really simple eye, so I am going to go ahead and powder my lid as well. I'm going to let that sit just for a moment, long enough to do the other eye. So again, it is time for Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage Concealer. So this one's got a little bit smaller applicator. I'm not mad at that. Totally works for me. Well, let's see. I can tell you right away that this one definitely has a little bit thicker consistency. It is in tone slightly a bit more yellow, but these are two different shades, so I can't really compare the shades side by side. That wouldn't be really fair considering they're total different ranges, but I like the more neutral color of that one. But a little bit of yellow or golden tone will help to cancel out darkness, and this one is specifically an under eye concealer. Alright, so again, I'm getting pretty outstanding coverage. This one is creasing a little faster under the eye area. 3 seconds after blending, it is like already creasing up. Again, like I said, that's kind of typical for me. They all tend to crease a little bit. And first impression here, it feels just slightly more matte, and it does feel a little bit thicker, like I said, in consistency, but it did blend out really nicely. Thicker consistency is not necessarily a bad thing. As long as it blends out well, I'm happy with it. So everything's looking good, and it's doing about the same as the Covergirl one did. I'm not seeing any like crazy differences. Nothing crazy is happening yet, so I'm liking it so far. So we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to blend out this little crease that's happening, and let's powder. I'm going to go ahead and dust off any excess powder on this side. So I'm giving this side a few minutes to just bake a little bit with that excess powder. I didn't really cake on a lot, but I want to kind of give the same experience to this side as I did the other. So I'm drinking some water. While that is sitting, I'm going to lightly set the rest of my face. Alright, so my makeup is complete, as you can see. I did go a little experimental on my eyes, so if they look a little funky, that's why. And I did have to bronze up quite a bit, so as you can see, I still look pretty light compared to the old shoulders here, but hopefully it blends okay and it's alright. I seem to have picked two extremely similar concealers, which is kind of bad and good. So far, I really like both of them. I can't really find any major differences, mostly in the consistency. They both blended well though. It's not even creasing, it's just that maybe my under eye looks a teensy bit dry, but I did use powder and leave powder on, so that sometimes happens. My skin is also a little bit dry right now because I just went to the beach, in the sun, things like that. So even though I use an eye cream, it looks just a tiny bit dry, but it's not bad. This is pretty typical application for me. I have to say though, both of these look pretty damn good. And just to give you like an idea, my favorites are Shape Tape, of course, and the Jeffree Star concealer, which has been kind of a go-to lately. This one by Covergirl has been compared to Shape Tape, and I have to say that's kind of true, although I feel it may be just a bit thinner in consistency than Shape Tape. And Shape Tape consistency is kind of in between the two consistencies of this, but it is closer to the Covergirl one. So I can definitely see like the similarities and like the dupe of it, but these are actually really similar, the Covergirl and the Jeffree Star. And this one, like I said, has been like my holy grail go-to since I found it and started using it. I'm really having a hard time, like I said, seeing any major differences, and I just want to give you guys a little close up. So I want you guys to have a moment to kind of look for yourself. This is me just looking straight ahead, nothing going on. Everything looks really good. I'm gonna look up so you can probably see any creasing that might be happening. It is not really creasing, like I said. It's more so that my lines are slightly emphasized. I find that with everything. I have not found a concealer that I thought, oh my god, I have no lines under my eyes. For me and the shape of my eye and the way things are, I just don't think that's a possibility. But these are doing amazingly well. So I just wanted to give you guys like a little side-by-side look. And remember too, I put the concealer, of course, all through here. I did use concealer here and here. Everything looks so good. I used it on my lids on both sides, and I did use some glitter. It was kind of a travesty too because I started to put on my OG Stila Kitten Karma Magnificent Metal and the bitches dried out. So yeah, my eyes went a little south and I said, oh, I'm just gonna do something simple. No, I lied, and then I went for God knows what. So I put blue on, and then I didn't like the blue, and then I put glitter on, and then it was dry, and I added another glitter. So just ignore that. But as far as like the creasing purposes go, nothing's looking bad right now. And I am going to leave this makeup on for at least 8 hours. It's 3:50 right now, but I did put the concealer on at about 3 o'clock. So it's already had about 45 minutes to kind of settle in. And so this is like initial application, dried down, powdered, set, everything. I do need to spray a little setting spray. I'm going to spray a little all-nighter pollution protection. I really love this one. Again, just doing some very standard makeup. So I'm really hoping that over the next several hours I will actually find some differences with these concealers, because I am kind of astounded that they're so similar. Like, how did I get to two concealers that are so much alike? But it's kind of good in a way. So again, so far, just to recap, the Covergirl is like $1 cheaper and the consistency is a little bit thinner. With the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage, it is a little bit thicker in consistency, but as you can see, blended like a dream. They both look really good. So I hope that something happens so that I can give you a definitive answer. But I'm gonna go about my day. I'm gonna edit videos. I'm gonna have dinner. I have to go grocery shopping, which is the worst thing in the world. And we'll check in a few hours and I'll let you see how it's going. It's about 11 o'clock at night now, so it's been about 8 hours or so since I put this on, and it's time to take a look. So first, here's a little look close up for you guys so you can take a look. It has been, again, a long time since I put this makeup on, several hours. Really, I try not to wear makeup longer than I have to, but 8 hours is a pretty substantial amount of time. So you can see, let me see what I'm seeing. So as you guys are looking, I am seeing a little bit of creasing under each eye. I think I see just a little tiny bit more creasing on the side where I have the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage, but it's not bad. I crease with every concealer I use. I have never found one that does not crease into just your natural lines under your eyes. Obviously, it becomes exaggerated when you put on something that's matte too, and I did kind of bake a little bit on both sides, so that exaggerates that a little bit. I can definitely skip that. You can do just a very light dusting of powder to set it. I like to use like a fluffy eyeshadow brush. That's a great way to do it so you don't add a lot of product on. They've both held up really well though. A slight bit of creasing is fine to me. Like, I think you're going to get that regardless. So I am really impressed with these concealers. So I feel like this is the weirdest head-to-head challenge of makeup because they were so similar. So really quick, I just want to tell you guys what I find to be the differences. There aren't many, I'm going to be honest, because they are really similar. So first, let's just start out with consistency. I've said it before, but the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover feels a little bit thinner in consistency. It still gives great coverage, but just consistency wise and how it feels on the skin, it feels thinner, it feels a little bit lighter on the eye. And then the Maybelline SuperStay Full Coverage has a bit of a thicker consistency, and I did tend to feel the concealer a little bit more. So if you want something that feels a little bit lighter and you like a thin consistency, a little point to Covergirl for that. They both, to me, blended out really well. I'm seeing the same amount of coverage. I did have on my little blue light glasses, and they both kind of did the same thing. It disturbed a little bit here where I had concealer, but it's not disturbed badly. The wear, coverage, and blendability of these is remarkably similar. It's really hard to find those differences. So as far as applicators go, the Maybelline has a little bit smaller. It has a flat side on each side. This applicator is not usually my favorite. It doesn't change anything with the concealer, of course. The Covergirl does have kind of like a Shape Tape-esque applicator. Another reason why it's kind of being like a dupe of it. So another point to Covergirl for the applicator, but again, it doesn't really change the formula and how it wears on you. So if you don't care about applicator, that's really neither here nor there. If you're someone who like, no, I like a particular type of doe foot, then that can be considered as well. Price wise, the Covergirl is going to run you $1 or $2 less than the Maybelline. They both should be really easy to find. You can find these at Walmart, at drugstores, at Ulta. And probably the biggest point of difference to me is that Covergirl is cruelty free. So if you're someone who uses only cruelty free makeup, or perhaps you're just trying to make better conscious decisions about buying cruelty-free makeup, then point to Covergirl for that as well. So I do think that I have to give a little bit of edge to the Covergirl TruBlend Undercover Concealer. That's really no surprise considering how much I personally love the foundation as well. I will say though, if you like a thicker consistency, you want a more precise doe foot applicator, Maybelline is a really good one. Personally, I'm really happy that I have both. I'm not mad at it. I will use both of these and I'll continue to use them. But if I absolutely had to pick one or the other, I would go with the Covergirl. So yay for Covergirl. So even though this is weird to have two concealers perform so similarly, it's actually kind of cool too because they're both really good formulas. And for me, what that really tells me is that I have on two great concealers right now and they're both under 15 bucks. You can pick these up at your local drugstore. And that's really cool to me because I feel like drugstore brands are really stepping it up. When a $10 concealer can compete with a $25 concealer, I think that's really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this little head-to-head concealer battle. Let me know what you think below. And if you tried either of these, let us know in the comments below if you've had any different experiences with them, any pros and cons you can give us. Perhaps you have different skin type, you like different aspects of concealer, so let us know your thoughts below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you like seeing drugstore makeup, drugstore head-to-heads. Let me know what you think and I will continue to do these if you do like them. And again, just thank you so much for watching and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!